Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Lauren and today we are doing my January wrap up. I'm filming this on the same day that I just filmed my February TBR. I haven't quite finished the month yet. It is the 30th. I may finish another book or two in the next day and a half. We will see how we go, but I've read over 30 books this month, so I'm going to talk to you guys about what I have read. If I have finished more, I will include them at the end of the video. I'll pop back in on Thursday and quickly film it before I upload this. But yeah, let's get through them. There is a lot. I'm gonna try and be as speedy as possible. These are some of the books that I have read and own. First, we're gonna talk about the Swift Hat Trick series by Hannah Cohen. I read these right at the start of the month. I think I finished 2 of them in like a day because they are very short. But I would say that these are kind of flops for me. I was a little bit disappointed. I didn't love them. I gave Lucky Hit 2.5 stars. This is I think the trope is like insta love. This is a college romance, college hockey. Oakley and Ava basically fall in love within first meeting. I didn't get a lot from it. It just did not do a lot for me. I literally read this and it went straight out of my brain. Ava is adopted, and the drama of this book is that she is adopted and her toxic mum is trying to like get Oakley to sign with her boyfriend as like his agent. It's all very strange. If you want to know more about it, check out my review on Goodreads because it literally was just not a standout. Blissful Hook is 3 stars. It was okay. It was a fun time. I'm ignoring it. Like, it was just an average read. It didn't do a lot for me. Personally, this is a brother's best friend, which is one of my favorite tropes, but it was just a bit of a flop. I found like Tyler a bit annoying. Obviously they're all scared about Oakley finding out about it, and then just nothing really happened. It was just kind of mid. This book is the definition of mid. Again, if you want to know more, check out my review. And the last one was my favorite. This gets a 3.5 stars. This has a bit of a time jump. This is a single dad. Adam, one of the best friends from the group in the first 2 books, has an accidental kid, and now he's a single father, and he's like a hockey coach, and he employs like one of the country's best female hockey players to help him train one of his proteges for female hockey. And yeah, there was just a lot of like very lackluster, very just a whole lot of nothing. But 3.5 stars. It was a good read, good time. I enjoyed this the most out of all of them. I then had another lackluster hockey romance. I read the 3 books in this series so far, like within quick succession, and they were all kind of just average. Again, very similar ratings to this series. But I read Double Parked, Park Yes, and Thoroughly Parked. Double Parked got a 2.5 stars. This was like a revenge plot. This girl breaks up with her boyfriend, steals his hockey tickets, VIP hockey tickets, meets these 2 players that he was supposed to meet, and then starts up a relationship with them. They just bang a lot and force proximity because she moves in with them because she has no place to live. And I literally read it for the spice. These books are very similar. All of the girls love to read. They're all MFM. The girls there's always a dog involved. There's always an adoptive dog involved, and all the girls love to read books. So they're very similar. And the author has a passion for like rescue dogs, which I totally appreciate. It just makes the stories feel similar. Park Yes got a 3 stars. This is a little bit more fun. This is a workplace. This is workplace. And fake it dating. The FMC, her boyfriend breaks up with her to date her boss, and she then gets a job at the hockey rink and accidentally gets married to one of the men, and then she needs a date for the wedding of her ex-boss's wedding, so she takes them. Again, just smart, but it was fun. Thoroughly Parked is a runaway bride, brother's best friends. They run away to like Hawaii and have sex for like a few days. It got a 3 stars. So if you're looking for some spicy hockey romances that are mindless and numb, these are great books. I consume them all via audio. There's not a lot of on ice action. There is no real major plot. It is just spice. I gave 2 novellas 5 stars, which is not normal for me. The first one was again by J.L. Seegers. This is a marriage redemption novel is what it's called. So it's a second chance. Jax and Amina divorce, and now they're reunited because their siblings are getting married to each other. So Amina's sister and Jax's brother are getting married. They're now forced to hang out for a week in Hawaii, and Jax is like, I want my wife back. I adore her. I want my wife back, and he's doing everything he can to get her back. And the way that this man grovels and the way that this man loves this woman, I will never forget about it. This was amazing. J.L. Seegers is one of the best authors I've ever read from. I cannot wait to read more of her books, but I was blown away with how much was packed in such a small book. It was just amazing. And then, really, did this deserve 5 stars? Probably not, but I got a 5 stars because I loved it so much, and just, I love this movie. But I read a Hermione fanfiction called The Holiday, which is basically a copy and paste of The Holiday, the movie. We have Draco and Hermione hanging out in Paris. He's a single daddy to 2 little girls. Hermione is best friends with Theo, and Theo and Hermione swap houses. Hermione moves to Paris to swap with Theo, and Theo's in Hermione's little flat in London. And he strikes up a relationship with Harry, and that's a little romance. It was great. Minimal spice, but the spice was chef's kiss. There was a library scene. It does everything you could want it to do for a short little smutty novella. I fully intended to read 2 fantasies this month. I ended up only reading 1, and that was City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare. This book gets a 3 stars. It doesn't really fully capture me when I read this book for some reason. I enjoy it. I love these characters so much. I then listened to another Christmas little novella, and it was 25 Reasons to Hate Christmas and Cowboys. Good time, no complaints, 3 stars. Not a lot happens, but it is a fun time. I continued reading the Poplar Falls series by Amber Kelly. I enjoy these. I think they're very low stakes, short books. I listen to them via audio. I think they're just really great fillers, really great just like mindless listening, which I always need when I'm doing all the jobs that I do. But Fragile Hearts got a 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed this. This is an age gap workplace romance. Bellamy and Brant work together at the vet clinic, and Brant has a bit of baggage. He's dealing with a lot of trauma from his previous relationship. He's moved here for a fresh reset. He's bought like Bellamy's dream house and is renovating it. They're renovating together. It is very sweet. It was just very low stakes. Not a lot happened when there was so much opportunity for more to happen, but I still had a good time. I love all the side characters in this series. They're fun. Then we have Big Nick Energy by Morgan Elizabeth. I gave this a 3.5 stars. I expected more spice than we got. It was a good time. It was low stakes. Nick is one of the best men I've ever read about in my life. So yeah, Big Nick Energy was a little bit of a flop. I don't have any major complaints, but it just wasn't for me. And then I read The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. Obviously this is a thriller, I can't say too much about it, but I did give it a 4.5 stars. I really thought this was going in the way of The Last Mrs. Parrish, which is one of my most hated books of all time, but it surprised me. I thought it was great. I thought it was really good. I had a great time. Honestly, I really did. After that, I read another thriller, which you'll see in a vlog, but it is The Wife and the Widow. I ended up giving this a 4 stars because I didn't love the ending, but it did shock me. So then I listened to another Omegaverse, and that was Bad Alpha by Catherine Moon. I enjoyed this. This is a female alpha. I gave it a 3 stars because it just didn't give me everything that I wanted. There wasn't enough spice, there wasn't enough romantic connection between all of the characters. Something was a little bit lacking in this one. For some reason I just didn't connect with it very much, and I gave it a 3 stars. It was a good enjoyable time, just not my favorite. I listened to another thriller book, and that was Local Woman Missing. I gave it a 4 stars. I did enjoy it, but I felt very similarly to how I did when I read The Wife and the Widow. My reasons are very similar for not loving these books, and I can't say why because it'll give it away. I am on a mission to complete Daphne Berry's backlog this year. I have 2 more series to go now after the end of this month because I finished the Clifton Forge series by Daphne Perry. So I'll talk about them in their entirety. I don't want to say too much because each of them have an overarching sort of plot. They are great. This is probably one of her least interconnected standalone series because the plot sort of, it is self-contained while being connected between the series. But the first one, Still King. Still King, I gave 4 stars. This is like a enemies to lovers story. We have Bryce, who is the new reporter in town. She's moved there to like run the family newspaper, and we have Dash, who is the head of this old motorbike club that is now dismantled. She's trying to like dig into the secrets of the past. So really enjoyed that. That was great. I then read Riven Knight. Riven Knight, I think that's how you would say it. This is a 4.5 stars. This connected, so Still King connects to The Outpost because Bryce interviews the girl, the FMC in The Outpost, and then the River Knight is the brother of the MMC in Tragic. Yes, that is how it is. It's like connected. And the MMC in Steel King is the brother of the MMC in the Clover Chapel. So they all sort of connect like that, but it's fine to read it in whatever order, it really doesn't matter. But River Knight I adored. I really enjoyed that. I love the romance, I love the plot. This is a marriage of convenience, and I always love a marriage of convenience. And then Stone Princess gets a 4.5 stars. This is again like an enemies to lovers. He's a famous actor. Comes to town to film a movie about what happened with the previous 2 books, and she like does not want him here. Fiance doesn't show up to her wedding. She's got like this past that she's hiding that no one knows about. It is really good. But then the next book, which is Noble Prince, is the sister of the FMC in Stone Princess, and it's like even more secrets come out about their childhood and their lives. It was so good. Noble Prince got 5 stars. This is a forced proximity. The plot was like, holy shit, I had my mouth on the floor the whole freaking time. The romance between these two, delivers. Fallen Jester is an accidental pregnancy. I did enjoy it a lot. It's just not my favorite. The romance just wasn't my favorite. I don't know, the plot wasn't really as good as the others. So if I'm like ranking it, I can't give all of them 5 stars. They have to sort of vary. But that one was a 4 stars. Like I said, accidental pregnancy, and you get the plot of that set up at the end of Noble Prince. And then the final book in the series is Tin Queen. This is an enemies to lovers. The MMC is part of the Clifton Forge Motorcycle Club, and then she's the daughter of the leader of their rival motorcycle club. A lot of secrets get revealed in this. A lot of truths and like craziness happens in this. It's got a 5 stars because I was enthralled with this book. I loved Tin Queen so much. But yeah, overall the Clifton Forge series is probably, I would say, my 3rd favorite Devney Perry series. My favorite Devney Perry series is definitely the Eden series, then probably Jameson Valley, then Clifton Forge, then Lark Cove. I think. I love the Mason Jar duet, but that's just 2 books, so I can't really rank it the same. But I think that's what that is. But I could change my mind once I read the next 2 series. I then listened to The Housemaid's Secret by Frida McFadden. This one was a bit of a flop. I didn't really vibe with this. I gave it 3 stars. It was still good. I was still like really wanting to get answers, but I just didn't love the way that story was told. I didn't love the way it ended. I then listened to The Maid by Stephanie Land. This is a non-fiction single mum like memoir. I enjoyed it. I don't rate my non-fiction, especially my memoirs, because I just feel like it's weird to rate someone's personal story, but I really enjoyed this. And then I watched the TV show. The TV show was also very great. The TV show is probably a little bit more dramatized than this. Things that happen in the TV show don't really happen in this, but still really good. Liked both, recommend if you are a memoir person. I then read Not So Meet Cute and Not So Meant to Be. Had I read these back in 2022 when I was initially going to read these, I probably would have loved them. Now these fall a little bit flat for me. I've read so much better Megan Quinn books since these came out. These were just not as funny and as endearing as like the Vancouver Agitator series or like The Way I Hate Him. These are just not as funny. The Way I Hate Him is a really long book, and I was really struggling with the first half of it, but the second half was so good. I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. So these are also just a little bit mid. Again, I think it's just like I've moved on from these kinds of books, but I don't know. I still haven't read A Long Time Coming. I'm hoping to get that done before the end of the month. So stay tuned. I will insert like after this if I've read it. And Not So Meet Cute got 3 stars. And Not So Meant to Be got 3.5 stars. JP is like amazing book boyfriend. He is such a little simp and I adore it. I love the concept of these books. The spices, they're not that spicy. I wouldn't call these the spiciest books I've ever read, but they are very good, very enjoyable, just not major standouts. But if you are on your like beginner reading journey, these are great books to pick up. Like, you cannot go wrong with either of these 2 books to pick up because they are a fun time. But now I prefer something a little bit more deeper, a little bit more complex. When I am reading a romance novel, I do like a decent plot or like a quite in-depth romance. I'm definitely a character-driven person, but I do need like growth and development and healing when there is no major plot, if that makes sense. So that's how I feel about that. I then read probably one of the best books I will ever read, and that is One Night by Lena Hendricks. This is an accidental pregnancy. These are also like rival families, similar to Tin Queen, but they're not like motorcycle. It's kind of just like family gangs. It's kind of a strange one. This series is amazing. The first one's the Sullivan family, and now like in a couple of months we're going to be getting the King's family. The MMC in One Night, Duke is part of the Sullivan family, and then Sylvie is part of the King's family. These two have immediate chemistry and an immediate attraction for each other, but they know they can't be together because their families hate each other. But we get a lot of answers as to why these families hate each other in this book, and it was amazing. A great plot, great romance. Duke is like, oh my god, the things he says and this man says, like, I can't. Such a good book, highly recommend, 5 stars. Probably will be in like Accidental Pregnancy Hall of Fame. I then read Ace by Heart by Layla Pine. I was not sure how this was gonna go. I was like fully set, fully convinced, like I knew where this book was going. I was wrong. I was entirely wrong. This is a 5-star book because it is a murder mystery, sports romance that just knocked it out of the park. The tennis representation and the tennis accuracy, the tennis like portrayal felt very accurate to me. I thought it was fantastic, but the mystery plot blew me out of the water. I was not expecting to be fucking blindsided like that. Like there was crumbs. I just didn't really think that was gonna be what it was. I thought it would be glaringly obvious, but I was wrong. 5-star. The spice was great. The plot was great. Cannot wait to get into the rest of Layla Pine's series. The next book is going to pick up after the events of Ace by Heart, and I just know that it's gonna be amazing. I then read Frost by Ellie McIntyre. This fell in a similar category with Hooked for me. Not a major standout. I didn't love it. I don't know why. I wasn't enthralled by the dark romance aspects. I wasn't enthralled by the romance. I was just kind of like, okay, plodding along. The plot was great, but I don't know. I wasn't really super invested. Maybe I just wasn't really tuned in. I then DNF'd The Handmaid's Tale, and I'm including here because I want to talk about why. I did make it like a third of the way through this before I DNF'd it, but I'm including this because I really enjoyed the concept of this book, and I appreciate the concept of this book. This book definitely has its purpose, and it's written for a reason, and it was scarily scary because it just felt, oh, this could happen. I don't know, but like I got to like the first sex scene and I was like, okay, I got it, I understand. I don't know if there's a HEA. If there is, maybe I'll pick it up again. I then read one of the biggest books of all time, and that's Big Little Lies by Liane Moriarty. This is set in Australia. If you guys didn't know that, this is set in Australia. The TV show is not. While I haven't read the TV show, I have seen a lot of clips on TikTok, which kind of taints the experience. So I kind of, once I started watching those clips, I was like, oh, I think I know what's gonna happen in this book. While I don't know what exactly happens in the show, I did kind of predict how this was going. So I gave it a 3 stars. I was enthralled. I did not want to stop because I was like, what is happening? But it also is the dual timeline for me. Dual timelines are hard for me to sort of read in this kind of book. I'm like trying to like put the pieces together from different timelines is hard. I had another DNF this month, and that was Final Offer by Lauren Asher. Lauren Asher is definitely not the author for me. I picked this up because I really wanted to listen to the book Love Very Design, because everyone was like, the audiobook is like amazing for whatever reason. I don't know why. And I think people had said like you need to read Final Offer. I didn't read the fine print because I knew that I wouldn't like it. I read terms and conditions based off the recommendation of my friend Taylor. She said it was great, really enjoyed it. So I picked it up and I had a great time. But Final Offer was way too long. It needed to have 100 pages cut out of it. It was a slow burn, and I understand the need for the slow burn, but my issue comes with the fact that there was no they didn't have that charm and quintessential like friendship development that a slow burn needs. These guys were still fighting 50% of the way through the book. They had never left the house 50% of the way through the book. Nothing was done with the potential elements of like the plot with her toxic family. Like it was building to that, but nothing really happened. It felt like the publisher just picked up the book while with the hype of like it being indie published and thought, we're just going to release that straight away to bank on that hype without even editing it down. It easily needed to be, if it had been 100 pages shorter, this would have been a knockout for me because the writing had definitely improved for me. Like her writing wasn't as cringy and clunky as I had found in previous books, but it just didn't, it missed the mark. And unfortunately, it is what it is. Okay, so it's a few days later, I ended up getting like really just, things happened. I didn't get to finishing out this wrap up, but I ended up finishing, I didn't mention 3 books that I finished in January. I did start Out on a Limb in January, but I ended up finishing it in February. So I'm just talking about the last 3 books I didn't mention, but they were In Your Dreams, Holden Roads. This is like these two are like trying to set the other one up concept. I think that was that. I really enjoyed it. And she's like so like anti-marriage and he just wants a wife because he thinks he needs to have a wife. I ended up giving it 4.5 stars because I didn't like at the end that she ended up compromising, not him. But I really enjoyed most of it. It was really great. Finn Roads Forever, I ended up giving it 4 stars. It is a second chance romance, which I really enjoyed. It's probably my 3rd favorite in the series. I think my ranking overall is that kind of guy in Holden Road, you're In Your Dreams, Holden Roads Forever, then Finn Roads, then Wyatt's book. So that's I think my ranking. I really enjoyed Finn Roads. I thought it was a great book. The second chance element was absolutely like a knockout. I thought it was great. And then I read an arc which was One Night to Win You by Julia Jarrett. This is a second chance like one night stand book, single mom. It was fucking fantastic. I loved it. Julia Jarrett just makes the perfect low level angst but like good spice, good family dynamics books. I'm obsessed. I will love them forever. I end up giving that a 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. If you haven't checked out Julia Jarrett, please do. I think she's a fantastic author. Those were the 36 books that I read in January, which is absolutely obscene. I don't know how I keep doing this, but I do listen to a lot of audiobooks, so that's on that. I'm gonna go and finish editing this now and upload it. So make sure you comment below how many books you read in the month of January. What was your favorite book in the month of January? And make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.